Hello, my name is Sheila Schwartz, and I am the Payroll Coordinator here at Orange Grove Center. In your package, you'll see that you have a cover sheet. On that cover sheet, my name is listed, my direct line, which is 308-1197. The center number is 629-1451. I'm extension 2222 if you call me that way. Also, my email address is listed on this cover page. I'm located in the HR department in the admin building, right past the receptionist desk. I'm the second door on your left. On payroll weeks, I work from Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. On non-payroll weeks, I work Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also have a weather info line. The number is 308-1161 in case of snow, ice, flooding, whatever the situation might be. You can call that number and find out what they're doing here at the center. That doesn't necessarily go for the houses that you might be working in, but for those who are employed here at the center, that's good information. They also give it on channel 3, 9, and 12 at the bottom of their screens. Today we're going to go over our W-4 withholding forms, federal and Georgia. If you live in the state of Georgia, then you need to fill out a state Georgia form. We're going to talk about the Chattanooga Area Schools Federal Credit Union. Direct deposit is mandatory for all employees. We'll find out how to start and stop those. We're going to talk about Green Shade setup instructions, new hire probationary period chart, payroll calendar, outline for benefit days, request for a leave of absence, staff electronic timekeeping, OGC login screen info, paper timesheet examples, time allowances, understanding weighted average, personnel data change form, and employee cancel voluntary payroll deduction form. The first thing in your packet is your W-4 form, and this is very important that you complete this. The IRS makes that a must, and so you need to complete this form as soon as possible and return it to the payroll office. Highlighted are the areas that must be completed. For a single person, you just need to complete step 1 and step 5. But for married people, you may want to look at step 2, 3, and 4 and do what it recommends. And there's also a packet in here with some information as well to help you with that, understanding what you're doing with the IRS. But be sure that you do sign it and date it. This is the federal form. This is your Georgia state form. For those of you who live in Georgia, you must complete this. And again, the parts that need to be completed are highlighted for you. So if you could get those turned back into me as quickly as possible, that would be great. The next thing in the packet is just a little calendar. This is from the Chattanooga Area School Credit Union, and we are affiliated with them. If you are interested in joining, all you have to do is go down. They're located on the corner of Holtzclaw and Bailey. Put up a $25 membership fee. Show them your employee badge that you're an employee at Orange Grove Center, and join and tell them what you would like to do. They do savings. And whatever you tell them, they will send to me in the mail. You never come to me with the credit union information. That always comes through the mail to start, stop, whatever changes you might want to make. They also do loans. They do signature loans, Christmas loans, all kind of loans. And they give back to their members 3 different ways a year. And I like to tell the employees about this because I never had a bank to do this for me before. But in May, they do what they call beach bucks. Every member's name is put into a drawing, and 50 of their members win $500 checks to help with vacations. They do the exact same thing at Christmas, a couple of weeks before Christmas. Again, they put in all the members' names. They do a drawing, and 50 members win $500 checks to help with their Christmas. The last way that they help with their members is if you have any kind of loans and you pay interest, or you have any kind of a savings account that you have interest in, they give you a percentage of that interest back in January, the very last day of the month actually, in December. for that year, and I've never had a bank to do that. So if you're interested in joining them, you just go down to the credit union and sign up. The next thing in your packet is direct deposit. Direct deposit is mandatory that all employees have direct deposit. This is the form that you would use. It'll be in your packet, and we can do savings, we can do checking. I have employees that actually even have 3 checking accounts. The only thing is, if you do more than one, then you have to designate the amount of dollars you want deducted or put into that account for the others. For instance, let's say you have a checking account and a savings account. You want to send $50 to your savings account, then the rest would go into your checking account. Even if it's 2 checking accounts, you have to designate an amount, dollar amount, to go into one or more, depending on how many you set up, and then the remainder, 100%, would go into the other one. The next thing is how to stop. Things happen that you have to stop your direct deposits. Right now, fraud is terrible. I have employees that are coming in all the time saying that their accounts have been hacked into. They have to stop their accounts. And so this is the form that you would use in order to stop a direct deposit. Now, we can't stop a direct deposit unless it is for fraud or that you are changing accounts. We can't stop it because you've overdrawn on your account, and a lot of employees come in wanting us to do that, but we can't. It's mandatory that you have a direct deposit. So please, if you have to stop your direct deposit, you need to call or come in and see me. Make sure the ACH hasn't gone to the bank, or so that we can work out what we can do if that has happened. If the ACH has already gone to the bank, and that means I've already sent our money for that payroll to the bank, then there's nothing I can do to stop that, but there is something I can do to help you get paid quicker. If we don't catch it, it could be up to 4 days before you would get paid, meaning that instead of getting paid on payroll Friday when everybody else does, you're not going to get paid till the following Thursday. The reason is because that account's been stopped, and when we send that account to the bank and you've closed that account, it bounces back and forth in the Federal Reserve because it has nowhere to go. And so there's nothing I can do until it bounces back into our account, and then I can write you a on-demand check. Anytime I have to write an on-demand check, those are cashed on Saturday, the day after payroll, if it's on a payroll Friday. Payroll's completed and finished on Friday, and so everything has to be done the following day on Saturday. But if you have any questions, you can always call me. There are a lot of employees who don't have checking accounts, and I didn't even know this. I've had one for so long that I didn't even know you had to have a credit check in order to get a checking account. A lot of employees are not able to do that, so what we do have available is there's money cards out there, and this is one from Walmart. So if you're interested in a money card and you don't have an account, you can always go to Walmart, and there's other places as well that have money cards available. So that is an option for you if you don't have a checking account. The next thing is Green Shade Setup Instructions. OGC has a self-help module that will allow all employees to view and print their check stubs. You can also change your address and your W-4 information. All changes will be approved or denied by the payroll department or HR department depending on the change request. Until you have your direct deposit set up, paper checks will be in the office of the department you are working for. ICF, ResHab, and Supported Living offices are all on Shady Lane, the street between OGC and 3rd Street on the left. If you work up here in the center, then your department will have that check for you on Friday morning. In order to access this module, all employees must sign up as follows. From the OGC homepage, click on the Green Shades log in on the left top corner of your screen. Select Create an Account. Follow the instructions provided. Once completed, you will receive an email verification from Green Shades. Remember, you must use your employer email address. You cannot use your personal email address. Open the email and click on the link provided. You will then be prompted to provide additional information. In the first field, use your employee ID number. It's up to 4 digits and it's also on your employee badge. This is not your social security number, it is your employee number. In the second field, use your last name or your birth date. Click on continue and you will be directed back to the login screen. This is a great tool that will benefit you as an employee. We have computers available in the room next to the records room and the library for an employee who may need to sign up and doesn't have access to a computer. Please let HR know if you have any problems accessing your account. The next thing in your packet is a new hire probationary period chart. It looks like this. You'll see it. And what it does is if you'll look in the first column, it'll give you your hire date. Find your hire date. And then the second column will let you know when your 90 days is up. For instance, if today is your hire date, 3/16/2020, your 90 days will be up on June the 13th of 2020. The third column lets you know when your first paid holiday will be. Again, if today's your hire date, your first paid holiday would be July the 4th, Independence Day. And the last column lets you know when your first sick accrual will take place. And we'll talk more about sick accruals later on in the video. The next thing in your packet I have is a calendar. This calendar is my payroll calendar, but I like to share it with the employees because highlighted on this calendar are all the paydays for the year and holidays. So if you look at the calendar, and let's see, today is March the 16th. The next paid holiday would be April the 10th, and it's highlighted with a black bold square around it in yellow. And all the Fridays that have a black bold around them, those are your paydays. We are paid every 2 weeks, bi-weekly here, and it's always on a Friday. The next thing in our packet is outline for benefits, and everybody likes to know what benefits Orange Grove has, and Orange Grove has some really, really good benefits. We'll start out with vacation, and you accrue a lump sum after 1 year of employment. Calculation is based on your standard hours per day times the number of days. Example, if you're an employee who works 7.5 hours a day, you would times that by 12 days and get 90 hours. There's a chart there in the middle of the paper. 1 to 5 years is 12 days or 2 weeks and 2 days. 6 to 10 years completed is 15 days or 3 weeks. 11 plus years is 20 days or 4 weeks. And again, depending on your standard hours per day, we have employees who work 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 6.5 hours a day. They're all different kinds of schedules here. So you would times the amount of you work a day times the 12 days to get your accrual. Vacation time cannot be carried over from 1 year to the next. Any unused vacation time will be rolled over into your sick bank. At the end of full-time employment, any remaining vacation hours will automatically be paid out on the last check. Sick time accrues on your anniversary date of the next month after your 90-day probationary period has ended, which is exactly 4 months. More than 3 days requires a doctor excuse. If employee calls in sick their last scheduled day before or after the holiday, a doctor's excuse must be provided in order to receive sick pay. Employees are not allowed to call in sick in their regular position and then sub in another department. Sick accruals based on standard hours worked per pay period. Anyone that works 75 hours or more, you're considered a 7.5 hour day and you would accrue 3.75 per month. 70 would be 7.0 or 3.5 a month. 65 would be 6.5, 3.25 a month. 60 would be 6.0 a day, 3 hours of sick time accrued. Anything below 60 hours biweekly or 30 hours weekly is considered part-time status and you don't have any benefits. No one accrues more than 3.75 for sick or less than 3.0. OGC holidays, we have 13 per year. You're eligible after your 90-day probationary period has been met. You must be in pay status, which could be vacation time, sick time, anniversary, birthday, or work hours, full scheduled hours the day before and after the holiday, both hourly and salary employees. Our holidays are July, we get Independence Day, September Labor Day, October Columbus Day, November Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving, December Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve, January New Year's Day and ML King Day, February President's Day, April Good Friday, and May Memorial Day. Also, we get our birthday and anniversary off with pay after your 90-day probationary period has been met. I hope nobody's birthday falls within their 90 days, or you'll have to wait till the following year. You have 60 days to use your birthday and anniversary, or you lose it. You must count the event day as number one of the 60. And what I mean is, you can't say, my birthday's October the 30th, so I can't say October the 30th, November the 30th, I have till December the 30th, because not all months have the same amount of days in them. So you have to look at October the 30th and count out 60 days, weekends and all, and then you'll know exactly how long you have in order to use your birthday or your anniversary. You must take a regular scheduled day off. I'm not scheduled for Saturdays and Sundays, so I can't take my birthday or my anniversary on a Saturday or Sunday. It must be on a regular scheduled work day, and you must take the day off. Employees are allowed to sub in another department if they are in pay status with a vacation, birthday, or anniversary day in their regular department. Bereavement pay, there's no probationary period. You get 3 scheduled work days off. You're paid whatever your scheduled hours are to work. For instance, we have employees who work 12-hour shifts. They would be paid 12 hours for those 3 days of bereavement that they would be provided with. You must provide a copy of the obituary or a funeral home announcement, and the immediate family member is defined as a spouse, a child, a stepchild, son or daughter-in-law, parent, step-parent, foster parent, parent-in-law, siblings, step-siblings, grandparents, grandchildren, court-approved legal relationship, niece or nephew. Not covered are brother and sister-in-law, aunt and uncle, or cousins. Jury duty, you're paid whatever you're scheduled again to work. You must bring proof from the court that you've had to serve on the jury duty. United Way Day off, any employee who contributes at least $26 per year, $1 per pay period, during open enrollment, a name goes into the drawing for a day off with pay. This is subject to change, but it's been this way ever since I've been here. Driver of the month, quarter, year, day off with pay, rewards given in the Transformation Department for good bus driving records. Again, the maximum amount paid for a holiday, anniversary, or birthday is 7.5 hours. You can refer to your handbook for policy on eligibility. 12-hour shifts and vacation, holiday, birthday, anniversary, leave pay. If an employee works shifts over the 7.5-hour limit for leave pay, the employee has a choice of using other leave time, if available, to make up the difference or to be paid with the shortage on the difference in the hours. It's your call. Salary employees may work the holidays or take a day within 30 days, counting the event day as number 1. It is against company policy to work more than 16 hours a day. Overtime is paid per week. Physically, hours worked over 40. Leave time does not go towards overtime. Part-time positions may be available in some departments. When an employee transfers to part-time, they lose all voluntary benefits except for One America, our retirement, including seniority. If the employee decides to return to a full-time position, he or she must start over as a rehired employee. So think about it before you go to a part-time position. If an employee leaves employment with OGC or transfers to part-time and has any vacation accrual, those vacation hours are paid out at the last check automatically through payroll. Sick accruals are not paid out to employees at termination or at the time of transfer to part-time. The next thing in your packet is just, I have a little chart that will be in your packet. It just shows how your vacation accrual is effective. This person is hired on 1/1/2020. Their first accrual would be on 1/1/2021, and they would get the 90 hours. And that would be through 1/1/2025. On 1/1/2026, they would actually move up to the 112.5 hours. And then on 1/1/2030, they would have completed their 11th year and get 150 hours. The next thing in the packet is a request for a leave of absence. It looks like this. And this is good for you guys who are just now starting out, because you're not going to have any leave time available to you for some time, at least 4 months when you start accruing sick time. So this form can be filled out for a leave without pay. We have some employees that come in and already have vacations booked. They might have a cruise booked. And so they bring in the tickets and show it to their supervisors and say, you know, I've already got this booked. They can give you that time off without pay, and it won't go against you. And this is also the form that you would use if you have leave time. And these are all available out in the hallway of the HR department. Staff electronic time sheet. Employees must clock in and out each day on their computer or other approved departmental method when entering or exiting the workplace. It is the responsibility of the employee to approve time worked after their supervisor has confirmed on a daily basis. Once employee approves the time worked, this approval is also the employee's electronic signature. Failure to comply may result in disciplinary action. When a holiday falls within a payroll week, it is the responsibility of coordinators and supervisors to manually enter time before it is normally worked, giving the employee time to approve for early payroll. This doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. If errors are found which require a change, the coordinator or supervisor and employee must make corrections on a paper timesheet and initial the change. The supervisor must bring that correction to the payroll office. The approving coordinator or supervisor is responsible for complying with company policy regarding paid time off. For instance, if you have asked for a vacation day or a sick day, it's up to your supervisor to make sure that time gets entered for you. It is strictly against company policy for any employee other than authorized supervisory or administrative staff to tamper with another employee's time. No employee should ever clock in or out for another employee or change another person's time. This is grounds for immediate termination. Falsification of any time is considered grounds for immediate termination. Electronic timekeeping must be completed for every employee, regardless of circumstances. If the employee did not work, the coordinator or supervisor should designate the reason why, whether it be leave of absence, sick, vacation, holiday, or other. When the employee returns to work, he or she will verify all hours submitted on their behalf. The next thing in your packet looks like this, and this is the login screen. And if you're going to the login screen, you would click here to go to your email. But to clock in and out, as I'm going to show you today, you would click where it says clock in or out. And also on the green shades that we talked about, right here, it shows you that the green shades is up here in the left top corner. Once you clock in here where it says clock in, you click there. This is the page that you will come up to. And if you look at that page as I read along and go along with me, you'll see that it has your department number, your job title, the punch type, the date, the time, and the status. And the status is what we want to look at, and it's very, very important. On this timesheet where it says punch accepted, that means the employee has clocked in and out, but nobody has confirmed any of the time. When it says confirmed, that means that the supervisor has confirmed this time for this employee. And when it goes on up and says employee approved, that means the employee has approved it, everything is done, and this employee's electronic signature has also been collected. But what you have to do with your part is once your supervisor has confirmed your time, out to the side here are some little squares, and you have to click on those squares and then hit that approve button at the bottom, and that is your signature and your approval. And once everything has employee approved, it's all going to come across to get paid. Now, if you haven't approved yours, that's fine, because we have it set up to where it will wait until you return. You may be off on some of your off days when it's time for time to be turned in. As long as your supervisor has confirmed your time, it will get paid. And it will wait for you to come back in order for you to approve it and get your electronic signature. But if your supervisor has not confirmed your time, it will not come across and it will not get paid. So it's very good that you look at it. I want to tell you a little story. I had an employee come in my office. Her name was Shirley, and she was hysterical on a Friday payroll morning. She was crying, and I said, calm down, Shirley, and tell me what's wrong. And she said, I have 95 hours missing off my check of overtime. And I said, what? Sit down and let's look and see if we can't figure this out. Shirley sat down, and when I pulled up her time, what had happened was her supervisor didn't confirm her time, so it did not come across and it did not get paid. What I want to stress to you today is that was not just the supervisor's fault. Shirley and you will see your time every time you clock in and out. So this was just as much Shirley's fault as it was that supervisor's, because Shirley clocks in and out every day, and you should look and see. And hey, if your supervisor has not confirmed your time, it's okay to say, hey, would you please confirm my time? You know, I want to get paid this payroll. So it's up to both of you to work together in order to get your time completed. The next thing in your packet looks just like that timesheet, but this one is different. We're looking at this corner over here. We have lots of sub time available here at Orange Grove Center for our employees. And if you're interested in sub time, all you have to do is let them know, I'm interested in working some sub time. If you are, you can't clock in like you would your regular job, because your regular job is not budgeted for you to go work and for somebody else as a sub. So to sub, you first of all need to know what department you're subbing in. Ask them what the sub pay is, because that is different for a lot of different positions and departments that we have. So you will know what the department number is and how much you're going to pay. And you need to know what the position is you're going to be subbing in. And once you have all that information, you come here and you put in the department. David's going to sub in department 450. Then you bring the drop down box down and you choose the position. David is not capable of doing med passes, and so he would have to choose that sub DSP. Click it, and once you choose it, then you just go over here and click the end button, and that's all there is to it. Log off, then log back in, put your department number in, choose your position, and hit the clock out button. It's that simple. That's all you have to do to clock in and out. Next thing I have are 2 timesheets. And if you would put those side by side, I just want to give you a little idea of how you're paid. This employee works in department 430, and he makes $9 an hour. And these are old timesheets, guys. You're not making $9 an hour. But this person at this time made $9 an hour. But they subbed in another department making $8 an hour. That's 2 different pay rates and 2 different jobs. But how he is paid is this way. He worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for a total of 32 hours. And then he went and subbed in a different department Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for a total of 38 hours. Now, 32 hours, we have to have 40 for it to go into overtime. So we're going to have to take 8 hours from his sub time sheet. 8 hours needed to make 40 physical worked hours, and that means he's going to get paid 30 hours of overtime. And it's per week. So even if you have a lot of hours on one week and hardly any on the other, you're still going to get you any hours over 40 hours. So the second week he worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for a total of 31.25, 4 hours of training. Training is the same as regular hours. It's considered physical hours. So really had 35.25. Then he subbed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for a total of 26 hours. He needs 4.75 hours to make 40, and so he's going to have 21.25 hours of overtime on his sub time sheet. So that's just showing you how he's paid. 63.25 times 9, and training was 4 times 9. His sub time was a total of 64 hours, and we paid